This is an overview of H5p. It's free and open source software with an extremely shallow learning curve. You don't have to purchase anything to create or edit content. Anyone can do it from right inside the Moodle LMS. Alternatively, you can register for a free account on the H5p.org website and create an activity outside of your learning management system. In that case, you'll need to download the file and upload it to the LMS after you select your H5p activity. H5p is based on HTML5, which means that it will work in any browser, and it will also adjust itself to the screen size of any device automatically. The first thing that we're going to do is look at the H5p.org website. When you go to this website, you want to click on Examples and Downloads. There are 46 different activities that are available for you, and each of these activities comes with an example. Let's look at one of my favorites, the interactive video. Before we begin, I want to point out that each of the examples on this site concerns berries. The subject matter was made simple on purpose so that you don't get distracted by the content. Instead, you can focus on how each interaction functions. One of the most frequently used activities is the interactive video. When you open the example of this activity, you'll see that there are circles along the bottom. Each circle represents a question that was added by the activity's author. This video is going to play, and when it hits the circle, a question will pop up on the screen, and the user will be unable to proceed until the question is answered correctly. This is a great way of ensuring that the user actually watches all of your video content, and these questions act as knowledge checks along the way to ensure that the learners understood the content. You can use videos that you upload directly to Moodle. You can also use videos from YouTube or Vimeo or TeacherTube or any number of other different repositories. There are other types of activities that I think are really useful as well. The branching scenario is kind of like the choose-your-own-adventure mysteries that you read as a kid. Your learners will go through the content and make decisions along the way. Based on those decisions, they will get different types of outcomes. And of course, this activity comes with an example as well, so you can check it out. You could use the branching scenario to train your staff for customer interactions, for example. The scenario could concern an irate customer, and the employee could be given 3 possible courses of action. Try to placate the customer, call the manager, or throw things at the customer. Based on the response, the customer then takes other actions, and the branching scenario progresses. One of the most versatile activities is the interactive book. It allows you to combine any one of these other 46 activities into one singular interaction. It is therefore very SCORM-like in its appearance. If you open up the example, you'll notice that it has the same sort of table of contents structure on the left side that you would normally associate with a SCORM package. It also has a long vertical scroll that will be familiar to Articulate Rise users. Notice that this example incorporates a wide variety of activities. This first section is about strawberries, and you have some information, and then you have a quiz, and then you have an interaction. Once they finish with this, the user clicks to the next slide, and now they're in the raspberries section, where there's a video, potentially an interactive video, and then more text for them to read, and finally some kind of fill-in-the-blank activity. Then, if they move to the next slide, they're in the blueberries section. This section has a hotspot activity, a drag-and-drop interaction, and a blueberry quiz. On the final slide, you'll get your statistics for all of the interactions. The only caution I would offer is that while these statistics are very useful, for the final examination I would always use the Moodle quiz, because I think the Moodle quiz is the best overall assessment tool. These statistics, however, will give you useful information along the way to determine how well your learners are actually incorporating the information that they're being presented into the architecture of their personality. Just remember that you want to resist the temptation to turn the interactive book activity into a monolithic 2-hour substitute for a SCORM presentation. Instead, I would create multiple smaller exercises because it's easier to troubleshoot them. Overall, H5p is wonderful. It works exceptionally well with Moodle. I've never had a problem with it. And that's it for our H5p overview. I think you will find that once you've explored it fully, H5p will become one of the most often used tools in your e-learning toolkit.